You're watching Inside Automotive with Jim Fitzpatrick.
Just last week, thousands of dealerships across the country were impacted by cyber attacks that took place at retail technology and software provider CDK Global. On today's show, we are joined by Jay Vijayan, who's the founder and CEO of Tekion, one of the other leading providers of technology and software services to the automotive community. Welcome, Jay, and thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to join us on CBT News.
Jim, first, good to see you. I'm glad to be back on your show.
Sure.
And like you said, it is an important issue, and I appreciate you, asking my opinion. Of course, yeah, it is a scary thing. It is a scary thing for the entire industry. For us, we see the amount of impact that this is having on the industry, and all of us need to be thinking about this and be aware and taking the right steps. And like you mentioned, some of the things that we have done over a period of time, I feel has made a difference. There is a lot of information at tekion.com/trust. We, share really a lot of things that we are doing and we continue to do, because this is an ongoing thing. Like you all know, like any in technology, things change. When we do something, of course, someone who wants to penetrate or do something to deter will also keep doing things differently. So we have to keep advancing our technology and our processes to keep up with that, to protect systems and data.
Yeah, it sounds like CDK is going to be paying this ransom so they can get their dealers and their clients back up. Is that a concern of yours as the founder and CEO of a leading technology company in this same space? Because it almost encourages these hackers to come in and say, okay, well, it could be Tekion next, or it could be Reynolds and Reynolds. Where does that? What's your take on that?
Yeah, it could. You know what? Yeah, it could be anyone. But as I mentioned before, we have to be aware. We have to be prepared. We have to be on the lookout. We have to be doing the right thing. But yes, it is concerning. But I also at the same time don't want to. And I know these are not concrete information that is out, and of course there are some news and updates that are coming out, and these things, it takes time to truly know what has happened. Right. And until then, I don't think we can firmly say this is what it is. It is better for us to be aware and just be prepared and ready. And overall, you're right, it is concerning to me from what we are doing. As I mentioned, the good part is we have invested a lot in security, privacy, and compliance. I want to call out specifically, it's important. I don't think there is any other DMS company has the level of certifications, industry standards we have in security and compliance. It is there on our website, tekion.com/trust, has complete details. We have SOC 1, SOC 2, ISO certification for data privacy and data security. These are important ones. It's not for the sake of having a certification, putting a badge on the website, but you go through very rigorous process when you go through these type of certifications. And as I said, it's an ongoing thing. It's not something we say like we did it and we're proud of it. We have to be on our toes. And unfortunately, running a big tech company is part of that. It becomes part of that job as well.
Are you fielding a lot of calls and emails from your clients saying, can this possibly happen to us?
Yeah, a lot of it. More than that, two things are happening. So one, yes, there are a few calls, and we clearly let our clients know. The good thing is most of them are aware. And as I said, we've been quite transparent about this. So we just share them the same URL, as I mentioned, tekion.com/trust. Okay. That's it. So it's a trust URL so that you can truly create trust, and it creates, we give full transparency on what we have been doing on the space. So that's what we do. Number two, we have been getting a lot of calls with interest to switch also. So we've been very, thoughtful about that as well. So yes, it's been a lot of emails and a lot of calls.
Sure. And is this, what do you recommend to dealers that are going through this right now and they're having a real hard time? There are some big retailers out there that have just announced that they've come out and said, hey, it's business as usual. We're okay. Group One, AutoNation are two of the big players out there that have come out with that information. But some of the other people, the other dealers out there, what's your recommendation for those that are suffering from this right now?
Yeah, so one thing, I made a LinkedIn post as well, just in the last 24 hours, LinkedIn and X postings as well on the same topic. And I've been, it's great to see the resiliency of dealers. They have come together, their staff. I've been in touch with some big dealer groups and dealer principals.
Sure.
They're all, pleasantly, I would say, thrilled about how much their staff have come together to. One is, even if it's being manual, putting together new processes to sell cars, service their consumers. Yes, they agree it's painful, but they also feel like, wow, okay, they have come together and really, kept the business at close to the same level how it used to be. And of course, they agree it's painful. It shouldn't be. So the one thing I would say is put together a best practices that your staff can go through. It could be 2 or 3 different tools that you use to sell cars, to service cars and different things. But you have basic best practices that your staff knows what to do on a daily basis. Yes, first day would be kind of a storm, right? You go through, you don't know what to do, but second day, third day, it gets better. So you at least know what to do. Yeah. The key is going back to the fundamentals of selling cars, servicing cars, and how you attend to your customers.
Yeah, if you can do that. I mean, that's the most important thing is obviously a dealer today is so dependent on the technology that runs that store that if that's down, they're in trouble, in a very big way. Let me ask you this, what about from a standpoint of a legal, there's now some talk about attorneys that have jumped in and said, we're going to put together class action suits against dealers and dealer groups if in the event that information has been breached, if their private information has been breached out there.
Well, I can't comment specifically on this. Unfortunately, these are risks that are associated. It comes with this because sometimes, there are regulations about this. And, sometimes when people say lawsuits, basically they go and look at these regulations. And if someone has violated this and they feel like, oh, you know what, I need to go find out or, make them accountable for various reasons. Right. Sometimes there is only financial reasons. Sometimes there are genuine accountability reasons itself, right? So honestly, I can't go into the details, but these are very high risks attached to these kind of incidents that happen.
Yeah, it's interesting. I was watching some of the press reports over the weekend, and many of the media companies came out and said that dealerships are down across the country and they can't do business. And I'm thinking to myself, well, there's other companies out there, Tekion, obviously Reynolds and Reynolds, other companies out there that serve the auto community where this hasn't impacted them. But they didn't, in many of the reports, they didn't break that off and say there's a certain group of them. So I think there's going to be dealers out there that are going to be screaming, no, we're alive and well and we're open for business. And there's been no hack, right? We got to get that message out there.
There are a lot of dealers. The good news is between dealers, they are talking, and our dealers are, calling their friends and referring to us. So we get a lot more calls to say, hey, by the way, my group is running great. And here's my friend who's unfortunately impacted. Jay, you need to talk to him. And I did.
Yeah, that's right.
And you're right. I mean, the news needs to be kind of, balanced as well.
Sure. What will be the big takeaway for you on this?
Yeah, the takeaway is, one is don't, compromise on some of these areas, right, where you have to overinvest, not underinvest. Because when it comes to system security, data privacy, protecting our customers, right, I think it's important for us to overinvest, not underinvest. That is the first takeaway. Second is, there can be enough redundancy in protecting, right? So we do all of those things. So I think the more is better. So when you have redundancy and backups in the right way, so one of the things that we are actively, while we have enough amount of redundancy, but one of the things that we are actively looking at is how can a dealer can just go back up the data from our system to wherever they want, right? So that's something we are actively looking at. That way, they have a peace of mind. Maybe that's not necessary, but it's also their responsibility to keep it secure. That's something I feel we do a pretty good job.
Yeah.
But something maybe if that's a peace of mind and they have a place that they always have a copy of their data.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Jay Vijayan, who is the founder,
takeaways for me.
Who is the founder and CEO of Tekion. Thank you so much for joining us on the show. We very much appreciate it. I know a lot of dealers out there are wanting to hear your viewpoint on this and your perspective. So thank you so much for sharing with our viewers and our dealer subscribers out there. So thanks so much. Maybe we can do a follow-up with you.
Thank you, Jim.
Once this is beyond us.
Absolutely. Thanks for the opportunity, Jim. Really appreciate
thank you so
having
much.
me here and this opportunity to speak to the industry. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching Inside Automotive with Jim Fitzpatrick.